Hello and welcome to another episode. After our recent chips binge and milk binge, I thought it fitting to try all the flavors of Oreos. On today's menu, the original chocolate stuffing, double mint stuffing, double Neapolitan stuffing, original double stuffing, double dark chocolate mud cake stuffing, and Oreos mini. We have some milk from the previous episode. I've got a cup of milk ready. Let's get into it. First, let's get started with Oreos Original. 128 grams, quick look of the ingredients. Now, one thing I didn't realize about Oreos, they're extremely high in sodium. 516 milligrams of sodium, that is very high. 38 grams per 100 of sugars, so 38%, that is also very high. And fats, you've got 20.4, so just over 20%. Oreos Original. That's an extremely established flavor. Can't really go wrong with it. Despite the high salt and sugar, very much enjoy this. This one gets a 9. Moving on, we have Oreos Chocolate Cream Filling. This is also 128 grams. Ingredients. Sodium's exactly the same. Sugar 37.4, which is actually slightly lower than the original vanilla cream. And fats, pretty much the same, just over 20%. Oreos Chocolate Cream. Now, this one, I would say, is not as good as the original because the cookie itself is already chocolate. Putting a chocolate stuffing in it, just a bit too much. So this one, best I can give is a 7. And moving on, since we've just had the standard chocolate one, next up, I'm going to try dark chocolate mud cake. The double stuff is now 131 grams. Ingredients, sodium, just as high. Sugars, just as high, if not slightly higher. And fats, even higher at 23%. Alrighty, the dark chocolate mud cake, double stuff. This is definitely nicer than the chocolate cream. However, the downside with this is the extra stuffing, it makes it almost a little bit too sweet. This is a lot of chocolate. It's got the same problems as the chocolate cream. Blending a chocolate stuffing with a chocolate cookie, it's just a little bit too much. It's a little bit too rich. So this one gets a 7.5. Up next, the double stuff. Again, 131 grams. Getting up there in terms of sugars, nearly 44%, nearly 24% fats. And finally, sodium has come down a little bit, but still, 399 milligrams is still quite high. Ooh, that's a fair bit. Very nice. So, the Oreo double stuffed vanilla cream. What a surprise. Growing up, I thought this was the bee's knees. Double must be better, right? Well, actually, I would say no. It's got too much of a good thing now. I tried it back to back with the standard single stuff. As far as I'm concerned, this is now just a little bit too sweet, a little bit too rich. So best I can give that is an 8.5. Up next, it is the double stuffed Neapolitan. Very interested to try this. I've never had this before. Still 131 grams. This one, interestingly, is down on sodium yet again, which is a good thing. Less salt is always better. Sugars, near as it makes no difference, 40%. And fats, over 23%. So the double stuffed Neapolitan. Do like this actually. It's not the best one, but it certainly tastes like what it's supposed to. Certainly reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream. Gonna give that 8 out of 10. I've gone through too much milk. Moving on, the mint double stuff. Just over 400 milligrams of sodium, nearly 40% sugars, and 23% fat. All right, the double stuffed mint. Didn't really enjoy this. The mint is really strong, which I'm not a fan of. To counteract that, the cream is also extra sweet, and there's twice as much of it. Best I can give this is a 6. Lucky last, we have Oreo minis. The only reason we have that one is because it's a better size for children. You don't really want them eating too much of the standard size ones. All right, let's have a quick look at this one. This is 157 grams net. Ingredients. Interestingly, it's now even higher in sodium. So on paper at least, this appears to be slightly worse. So that's the size difference. Now, time for a taste test. Interestingly, it is actually more salty than the full size ones. I always thought I was imagining it, but now having tried them side by side, it most definitely tastes more salty. Granted, it does have more salt in it. However, that minute amount is not the only explanation, I don't think. I think that one, because it has much more sweet vanilla cream in it, it sort of masks the high amount of salt that's in all of these. The small amount of cream doesn't mask up all of the saltiness of the biscuit, which is very noticeable. As such, I can only give that a 7. And time for a conclusion. I think the best way really is to put everything into a table of contents, which you can see here. As far as I'm concerned, the original is still the best. Now, let's put all of these items into our table of ever-growing sweet products. Value for money wise, these are not great. They're certainly not going to rank all that highly overall. Please do ensure to enjoy in moderation. The ingredient score for these things is not great. It's high in salt, it's high in sugar, it's relatively high in fat as well. And that concludes another episode. Thank you for watching. See you for the next one. And consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much.